Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing good.
So today we are talking about the Highclere Castle Toro. The cigar is 6-inch by 52 ring gauge, comes out of the Tabacalera Fernandez factory in Nicaragua. The wrapper is Connecticut Shade, the binder is Brazilian Mata Fina, and the filler is from Nicaragua. It is blended by Nicholas Melillo, and the price point is $15. The cigar was released in October of 2017. So with that out of the way, June, what was your pre-light experience like?
I rated the pre-light to be very good, which rarely happens for me. But I really dug like that luxurious look of that band. So like it had this like white gold thing going on. In terms of the actual wrapper, really pretty wrapper, silky smooth Connecticut shade wrapper. Vein seams perfect. Double cap. Nosy of the wrapper. I got a cedar, damp earth, and barnyard. Smelling of the foot, very rich roasted nuttiness, cedar and white pepper, cold draw, hay, and cedar. So overall, it was a really nicely presented cigar.
Yeah, the aroma I got from the wrapper was a very faint hay. Foot was a creamy hay with a little bit of white pepper. And the pre-light draw brought a nice sweet hay, and there was a little decent spicy tingle that I was getting on my lips. So flavor-wise, what was your experience like?
So first third, I thought it was the profile was smooth, distinct, and bold. So, typically one doesn't hear about smoothness and boldness being associated with each other. They're typically contradictory terms, but in this case, it was both. So, smooth in the sense that it had this like almost buttery consistency to it, but at the same time, it was bold because it had a very nice, distinct pop of black pepper. And that black pepper was really nice in the sense that it was like it covered the entire palate. So and that was also rich in the sense of like a roasted nuttiness. It has cedar and it was like a creamy bready note to it as well. Retroly, it drew out deeper notes of the black pepper, rich roasted nuttiness and cedar. Finish, it was long with black pepper, cedar, and it just absolutely caked my entire palate. So really nice. Strength of body is medium. Moving on to the second third, still deliver that smoothness and the distinctness of flavors. Black pepper spice, I thought it was less bold and less like a full palate layering, but it was still a really tasty cigar. Still kind of centered around rich roasted nuttiness, cedar, bread, retro hailing still deep in spice, and the nuttiness and cedar. No changes, still being medium. Moving on to the final third, it was slightly black pepper forward. Not as bold as that first third I tasted, but it was definitely there. And it had like a surrounding cast of the same roasted nuttiness, cedar and bread, spice. Most noticeable on the retro for sure. It was full but not overbearing. To be long, with a really long lingering black pepper cedar, and then also now coming through with some minerality. Strength creeps up a little bit of a medium, which is surprising for Connecticut shade, and body stays medium. So all in all, it was a good cigar.
Yeah, the cigar for me started out with a mix of bright wood and some black pepper. After a few draws, that brightness of the wood kind of faded back, and the mixture was a lighter wood with the black pepper. 3/4 of an inch in, I began getting a slight coffee note in the background, and the slight coffee was also present on the retro hill, which was like primarily like a clean, dry wood note. At an inch and a quarter, a little bit of cream joined the profile, the mix with the wood and the subtle black pepper and the coffee. As the third came to a close, that mixture of wood, cream, and coffee was kind of coming together pretty nicely, and the strength was just slightly below medium. Getting into the second third, the creaminess and the coffee left, and the light wood kind of continued on, and it was a little slightly drying. At a half inch in, some faint traces of the coffee returned, and then a little further in, the wood gained a little bit of a char, while the coffee was still very faint in the background. At an inch and a quarter, the char continued to build, and a little bit of wood bitterness joined in as well. Coffee note was not really detectable any longer, and that's how the second third finished out. Strength moved up to be slightly above medium. Gaining the final third, a little bit of creaminess rejoined the profile, while the wood still had a little char and bitterness to it. Half inch in, the char and the bitterness increased a bit, while the cream still remained in the background. And then at an inch in, that creaminess increased, but it wasn't able to cut through that charred wood and the bitterness. And that's kind of how the cigar finished out. Strength in the final third remained that slightly above medium mark. So what was construction like for you?
It was perfect. So perfect burn, perfect draw, razor sharp burn, really tight ashes, inch and a half, self tap increments. Like I said, perfect. Draw struck that perfect medium between airflow and resistance. So nothing but the highest marks.
Yeah, I agree with you. Construction was fantastic. Burn line was sharp the entire way. Ash held on 1.25 inch increments, so it was really nice. Same with the draw; it was perfect. Had just the amount of resistance that I like, so I had no complaints regarding construction of this cigar. So overall, what were your thoughts?
Smoking the cigars, it's hard to not think about Downton Abbey. I mean, I don't really watch it. I'm not a
Mhm.
fan of the show. But I definitely, see the girlfriend watch it all the freaking time. Uh, so, you know, uh, so it kind of make it. One of the things that I had thought in my head while smoking this was, I wonder if this is how cigars tasted like back in the day.
Right, right,
I want to say, if I remember right, that one of the kind of marketing pitches of this cigar was that they try to create a cigar that'll taste like back in like the early 1900s.
right.
So I mean, I guess yeah, if memory serves me right, and if this was kind of like how cigars tasted back then I would have loved cigars back then. I mean, it was rich. It still had good spice levels. It kind of hit kind of all different kind of spectrums of flavors. So one of our reviews like, oh, the only thing I'm missing is a Rolls Royce to smoke this in. So,
Yep, exactly. Yeah, for me, I thought the cigar was very much in line with traditional Connecticut's in that it kind of presents the primarily woody notes along with a little bit of bitterness. It started out with some pepper that faded out, and the wood was the primary component until the second half, where it kind of gained a fair amount of char and bitterness. Um, Construction's fantastic. That's kind of be to be expected from tobacco lover Fernandez. Um, but the cigar just didn't do it for me. It didn't present anything special. Final third was a little slightly off-putting for me. Um, and price doesn't factor into our score, but the price is nuts. I mean, $15 for this cigar, so you're paying some licensing fees, I'm sure, to the castle and things like that. So that's kind of another detractor for me for not really wanting to try another one. Um, with so many other Connecticut's out there and good Connecticut's that are available at a cheaper price, that yeah, I'd be passing on this one probably and going for something else. So, in getting into our scores, I give it a 5.40. You gave it a 7.17. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
matched well. I rated the flavors first, second, last, third, and overall to be good. I rated the construction to be perfect, so it should hit around that low sevens.
Yeah, my matches up well. I mean, I scored it pretty much average flavor profile, except for the final third was subpar. Perfect construction definitely helped the cigar out. But for me, it was just, it was just I would say, kind of a run of the mill Connecticut. Not even a really good Connecticut, just a Connecticut cigar. So, any other final thoughts from you on this one?
So I didn't realize this was an expensive cigar until what you just said. So that brings up an interesting point because, on one side of the coin, I'm thinking, all right, so if you're going to charge $15 a cigar, you better taste like a Davidoff, right? If you're going for that luxurious kind of a feel and look and presentation, right?
Mhm.
Because I immediately think of like Davidoff when I think about that, right? Um, I mean, is this like good as like typical Davidoff that's out there? That's debatable. I mean, because we're talking different blending styles, right? Like Nick Malolo and like Henke and Davidoff general team, they're very different. They utilize very different tobaccos, right?
Mhm.
But that's a tough call, man, because there's so many good Connecticut shades out there. I mean, we were just doing a review last week when I think I literally said like within any Connecticut shades that came out like the last couple of years, you're not gonna have a miss on pretty much any of them, right?
Right.
So why would you spend $15 on something that similar-ish to most Connecticut shades out there? That the
Right.
new Connecticut shades,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. Anyways, just
Yeah.
babbling on.
But that doesn't factor in our score. So, like you say, you weren't really paying attention to that anyway. So,
You know,
but yeah. All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google Plus. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.